Hi everyone, welcome again to another video clip. We're just going to go through some of the words here in my weekly lesson. So the first thing just to point out, and this has been a big subject in my podcast of today, is this thing about the vets. We quite often say, oh, I'm going to the vets, I'm going to the doctors. And when we do say that, without the word surgery or office, it's written like this. Now, this one, a trip to the vet, is also correct, okay, and probably more accurate because there is only one of them. And if you're not going to say the possessive, the word surgery, a trip to the vet would be what you would usually say. But culturally, for us, we usually drop this last word. Okay, a trip to the vet. Okay, and then I'll put in the word surgery again, just to make it clear. So I'm writing this word just for clarity, so you can see a trip to the vets, a trip to the doctors. So if your boss says, "Oh, send me an email, tell me where you were this morning at 5 o'clock," you can say, "I was at the doctor's," and you would have to put an apostrophe in there. You don't use the word surgery or office. Oh, I was at the doctor's. But more and more native speakers now just are writing it like this. Okay, so this seems to be the new normal, not to use the apostrophe. So some people might say, I was at the vet's last night, but there's only one of them. So it seems to me to be factually wrong to say this. But anyway, my point is this. You can say, if you're saying where you were particularly, or I had to take my cat to the vet or vets, both are correct in this case. All right, vet or vets. Some people will write this as well. That might not be factually right though. There's only one vet, okay? Right, I had an American politician talking the other day about vets, and it crossed my mind that these doctors who are caring for our little fluffy friends are somehow very important in American English. Okay, so it's definitely Trump. Okay, I'm just being polite with the American politician thing. You know what he's like? No, yeah, the vets, the vets. Oh, I love the vets, you know. You know the way Trump speaks? Yeah, the vets, great vets. So he was talking about veterans. But for a minute, I thought he was talking about veterinary surgeons, animal doctors. So when he started saying, oh, yeah, I love the vets make a great contribution to this country, I'm thinking, well, really? You like animals? But he was actually um, talking about war veterans. Okay. Little fluffy friends. Okay, fluffy is soft and gentle. I did have a moment with myself wondering if I should have said fluffy little friends or little fluffy friends, but probably fluffy little friends would be more grammatically correct, but it doesn't matter. We say both. So I think in this case, both are perfectly acceptable. Yeah, on this side of the pond, so further down, I was saying actually he was abbreviating the word veteran as in war veteran. On this side of the pond, a vet is a veterinary surgeon. Veterinary surgeon. Yeah, just colloquially we say veterinary, which sounds like we're not saying the R. Veterinary. Veterinary. Yeah, so we say things a little bit differently. Right, on this side of the pond means on this side of the Atlantic. Okay, whenever there's a block of water, I don't know, between where you are in the Philippines, between Australia and New Zealand, whatever, you can talk about on this side of the pond. And it just means on this side of the water. A pond is a little puddle of water that kids play in. Now, it's more than a puddle, it's quite big, big enough to die in, so be careful. Some people have ponds in their garden. little, it's not a lake you have in your garden, unless you have a big garden. But you might have a little pond with fish in it. Um, so on this side of the pond is a nice way of saying across the water. On this side of the pond, the vet is a veterinary surgeon. I just mentioned a moment ago that we say veterinary, but I think if you say it slowly, veterinary, veterinary, they are silent, veterinary surgeon. So yeah, it sounds like veterinary surgeon because they are silent. But if you go to a place like Scotland, veterinary surgeon. Okay, so in received pronunciation, veterinary surgeon, veterinary surgeon, just because the R is silent, just like in word or work, not a veteran, veteran. It took me a while to work that one out. That means to solve the problem. Okay. Pet carrier, that's a little box we carry the cat in. When he sees it, he runs. My cat hates the pet carrier. Yeah, the usual small talk with the vet. Oh, I hate that. Oh, miserable weather, terrible. Yeah, well, my cat's dying. Can you just do your thing, please? And the last one for today, this is very interesting. Oh, look at this little sausage. She gleaned. And I've also written the word gleamed next to it. Okay, so when you extract information from someone about what happened to them, whether they're doing well or not, okay, that's gleaning information. Okay, so to glean is when you extract information. Now, I used glean because she's starting here saying, oh, look at this little man, what happened to him? Or in her case, look at this little sausage, what's happened to him? Okay, so she's about to glean information from me. Okay, to extract information. But I could also have used the word gleamed here, because to gleam is when you shine, you radiate happiness. Oh, look at the little man, isn't he beautiful? I mean, to be honest with you, I'm sure the vet cares. I like to think she does. So she was kind of like gleaming at him as well. Oh, look at this little sausage. Okay. But really, she was also gleaning information out of me. She wasn't just there saying, you have a nice cute cat. She was extracting info from me. Okay, so this was her way of beginning to do that. Yeah. So gleamed or gleaned. For the purposes of this, probably gleamed would have been better. So both. But if someone's asking you for information or about to ask you, they're gleaning. They're going to extract information from you. If they're beaming happy, making a comment, it's gleam. Okay. And there we are. So that's probably it for today. A little bit of motivation coming your way at the bottom here. Okay, I'm just going to ask, do you think pet therapy helps you learn in any way? Do you think pet therapy helps you learn in any way? Yeah, there we are. So that is a really interesting question. Um, I mean, to be honest with you, I just sometimes finish on italki and I go and hug my little cat, and he kind of like stares at me, depending on his mood. And I'm sure he's thinking to himself, "Da, so who did you just finish with? Italians, Spanish, Bulgarians? Who was it? Da." But I'm not sure he actually brings me, the kind of joy that would inspire me to teach more. Yeah, I don't know, but maybe after a bad day doing grammar, you go to your cat and your cat loves you and assures you that your grammar is perfect. I don't know. But do you think pet therapy is your pet a support animal? It's a bit of a craze here, that support animals. I'll be talking about that this week in my podcast. We have support animals. You know, you can carry your cat around with you, and if you go into the supermarket and they say, "Oi, no animals," you can say, "Oh, it's a support animal," and they have to let him in. It's like a guide dog for the blind, or an animal which helps you to do your shopping. There's been a few big court cases here about supermarkets refusing to let animals in. And the person said, "Oh, but it's a support animal," meaning one necessary to calm my nerves. Well, I think if I took my little cat to the supermarket, he would want immediately to get to the pet food section. So I don't think he'd be too concerned about supporting me. I think he would be thinking of his belly, I think. That's it from me for today. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let's talk soon. Bye.